Well, as Glenn would say, we are live. I'm not sure how loud you will hear me, if anybody's even there. And something miraculous happened. I'll show you. I was running around this house where I'm house sitting to find a mirror, like a small enough one to bring to show you what just happened this morning. And it's like, oh, quick, what does a mirror look like? I'm looking for it everywhere. Well, it depends which angle you're looking at it from. It might look exactly like you. So here's my screen, right? Can you see my computer screen? So this is my computer screen that after many months of being totally off, now this part, and by the way, I don't want to touch it now, it might go off. But sometimes if I touch, these colors will kind of but these lines were pretty much within a week since the last time Dell fixed it, because you don't want to get your Dell computer fixed by Dell people. You want to get it fixed somewhere else, even if it's on warranty, I'm sorry to say. So this is working, and today is historically important, right? Now I do have the secondaries. I do have the TV plugged in just in case, okay? And I have the phone here that I just recorded this with in case it fails. But I did do something with my computer for the first time after the screen was working, by the way. So it has no link to that. Is I will, I actually moved a lot of what's in the memory of my computer to, an external storage device. So now the color scheme of the main storage of my computer went back to a color that is less than 10% to the maximum, right? So it should make the computer work a little bit better than when you've got the memory almost completely full. It creates issues. So hey, I won't admit I'm nervous. When I'm nervous, I bloat a little bit more, right? I look a little bit fat. Okay, so there might be nobody here. When I did live for the second time, I noticed that participants could actually ask questions on here, but I will still maybe open a secondary window to see if emails come in with questions. I wrote my email here, all one word, eh? So drhumanix@gmail.com. And you can call me this if you want. Now, do you believe I blocked this off because I wasn't sure how to spell it? I actually, I actually went again on an incognito Google window and put the word professor, and it showed, I had it correct. And then I also did the word ESO in that same incognito window. And with ESO, a window popped up when I was already incognito. It says, something is happening, do you want to keep blocking it? Yes. So it's strange that professor didn't do that, but ESO, and this is actually why I'm blocking it, right? I don't want to support that kind of company, right? So, so I marked it off just so you don't see ESO the whole time. Okay, so you can send an email, but you might be able to do it live here, writing on my channel right now. So again, why we're here today, and I promised 30 minutes. I promised to wear a shirt, same one as the other day. I'll wear a different one next month, which is the third Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You might not have been able to see it, but that's what it is on my screen there. And getting back to this miracle computer, if I was still susceptible, like I'd been trained as a kid to have these thinking flaws, if I was still susceptible to the supernatural type thinking, I would say this historic day where I'm offering to, cover the subject of reality live, where anything could happen. Yeah, sure. This is, Lauren Michaels is not producing this, by the way. And anybody could ask questions about anything, and I'm not going to block it off. That's not it. The subject is really reality, and we're starting with COVID. But what if somebody asks something different or challenges me on something? That's great. But what if somebody asks an intelligent question that's reality related? I'm nervous because that might mean that out of all the thousands and thousands of people in the Facebook groups that I've shared this invitation with, what if somebody might actually be the 0.3% and qualify for being that elusive Homo sapien? Whew, I'm nervous. I might meet my first, Homo sapien today. Of course, it won't be within a 30-minute exchange that can be verified and confirmed. Getting back to this screen worker, if I was susceptible to the supernatural, I would say, do you think Gaia, Mother Earth, is somehow supporting my work, which is putting her? Do you think? And again, I'm sorry, like this is very likely, even if I investigated it further, it's very likely just coincidence. And coincidence is, you it's not a proof of anything. So what it could be, my biggest theory right now would be throat lozenge. It would be that, by the way, where I'm house sitting now, I'm actually paying rent. So I'm paying a rent in two places. The other place, as much as I tried to solve this issue, the government was blocking my attempts and creating more poverty in my life. And it was to actually be able to survive the winter with consistent heat and hopefully even be able to, insulate a little bit more the other place that I would survive. But even before December, really, in the other place that I'm still paying rent, which is my obligation that I agreed to, is I found very early on, I think it might have been actually maybe October or maybe even September, where there was a few cold nights in a row in this motorhome that I own, where it got so cold because it's metal. It's not a regular motorhome. It's made from a bus, but even a regular motorhome, somebody told me they're really not meant to be in wet, colder climate without, and this virus attacks right now the, weak lungs. I don't have weak lungs. And again, I'm saying statistically, if you have weak lungs, it's not a good thing for this type of virus. Okay. I'm not, this is not like black and white answer I'm giving you. So why would I allow the government of British Columbia to create a higher probability of my getting sick? So I had to focus on getting a place somewhere where I could generate more heat and be healthy and do things like this with you. So I want to first say, and I didn't look it up, but we could look it up right now, the definition of virology or being a virologist. And I never said I was this. And that's a very high specialty. They have to study and do research for a long time. So the topic of COVID-19, if you ask me to answer a question that goes to a virologist, I'll send you back there. So what I'm talking about is the human condition, right? I have a lot of vlogs on my YouTube channel here, for example, that talk about democracy or critical thinking or having an ecocentric worldview or the mental illnesses that affect majorities. So of course, they're not in a DSM-5, but that's the way it is. Yes, anxiety has been part of my life and I've conquered it. And I think my grandfather died tomorrow, but 22 years ago, I think. I got to do the math here. 24 years ago. And that started a pretty tough year for me where it wasn't just depression, it was majoritively anxiety because it runs on my mother's side of the family. There is different things running on my father's side of the family, which might have had anxiety as a concurrent disorder, not necessarily a primary axis. But I've had things to overcome, and I know what it feels like to have anxiety at levels where you're in the fetal position in bed for long periods of time, or depressions that last more than a year that are intense. And as I said, I've conquered this. So this anxiety now is just being excited that I set a challenge for myself, and I met it, and I'm having fun meeting it. Okay, so I don't see anything. I'll try I don't see any likes or people online or anything like that. So I'm going to say hello. Hello, people of Earth. See if there anybody that actually lives on Earth here, because you got to be in reality to live on Earth. Hello, people of Earth. And I don't know if I put it. I'm looking at the screen here, which isn't great, and the colors change. I just want to put an exclamation mark. And let's see. Hello, people of Earth. And that's working. And I'm not blocking anybody. This is the first time I do this, but I will check halfway through. I will check emails in a different window to see if any came in. Here's how I prepared for this, by the way. And it was fun and funny. So, well, I had to get my shirt ready. I had to do this. I got water. I brought a book to read. By the way, I decided that in my course on ecocentric worldviews, which is required of the majority of you if you want to save yourselves, and of course it would help save the biosphere first, which of course saves yourselves, right? So this book will be part of the readings as well now, and there wasn't a lot before, and this is pretty low amounts, but I like the way it was not finished yet. I'm at page 154, but it was kind of written in a nice order of schemas. I appreciate this book. This is a book that everybody that claims to care about reality should have, okay? I have other things that I could read as well if nobody shows up, but the time seems to be passing. All right. Anybody there? Hello? Hello? This is the topic of reality. Anybody in a reality right now today at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, Pacific time? Hello? Remember, I'm giving you 30 minutes to show up to reality. That's my promise to you. And next month, we will try again. I have decided, though, that the course that will start in the spring, the third year, I'll be giving by myself, being the only student as well, because teachers must be students and students must be teachers. You can't really, create a boundary between those two, that are too excessive. Otherwise, again, you do not understand the concept of collective learning, which has helped bring you towards the concept of being human. You might not have succeeded in being human. In fact, as a species, I believe that you were close to prepubescent, pre-adolescent maybe, and then suddenly, HSD came in. So HSD is pretty sad because some of you might say, hey, this guy can tie his own tie, so he should be able to get a job, because you guys like to follow. And by the way, there's no special effects here if I make this tie. You guys want to follow people that wear ties on TV and that have millions and millions of dollars. But in the bank right now, I just got an email from my bank. I have $22. So I'm going to go this way. Let's see myself over here. So the angle stays the same. I'm going to show you this. Oh, don't go too fast. Take your time. So they might say, well, this guy looks all right when he's kind of shaking my head today. He looks all right. He can tie a tie, and it looks kind of better than the people on TV, like your politicians or rich people that you kind of believe have very important things to say about that you consider to be reality. I didn't like the light there, so I'll review that. Yeah, you guys can verify this video for any special effects, in case you think I didn't really do it. My father, when I was young, put me in front of a tall mirror and showed me, I don't know if he showed me a third one or two types, and I don't remember the name of the first one is, maybe you guys do. And maybe somebody can just say that. It's not a question, just say that's that kind of tie. And then we'll know somebody's actually there live watching. And I like this one because it's always been kind of easier if you kind of know when to pull and not to pull as you're doing this knot. I kind of found that it's kind of easier to be more symmetrical. And it's pretty sad that this is what I'm doing right now, right? About reality. And I can't even see, the color is so off on my screen still. And this tie almost kind of doesn't blend in with the color, but it seems fine to me. And if you do it right, depending on the material, you can just loosen it up and take it off, right? Oh, it's pretty sad. I'm talking about this stuff right now. This is a color. This is the evolution of slavery to this. And you want to follow slave masters that are actually slaves to the monetary paradigm themselves. So my bank account is low, but you want to listen to people whose bank accounts are high. And money is a fictional thing, right? It doesn't really exist. It gives the fake illusion of power. It has nothing to do with human thinking tools that relate to the natural world. And you guys all want to increase this power. So going to a bank is like going to a place that is keeping your magic wand safe, and it has miracle powers. It can do magical stuff. And supposedly the higher the bank account amount is, the more powerful this magic wand is. But it's not powerful enough that when you leave, if they don't like you for, let's say, the color of your tie or a joke you did or whatever it is, right? That is not even worth judging a person for sometimes. Sometimes what they really judge you for is if you have more money in the bank account than they have working at the bank in their bank account. So the magic wand doesn't prevent them from talking about you in a negative way. It just makes it that you will get more fake respect. Fake respect. I don't even have people give me fake respect sometimes, like especially Scotiabank when that was my bank account. It was really apparent how disrespectful they were. But if I would have had $100,000 in there, oh, the effort would have almost broken their faces as they tried to be congruent when they gave me this fake respect. It's pretty ridiculous. So this is who you want to follow, right? This is who you want to, pay attention to. I was teaching ladies of different generations to fold panties in a super cool, efficient way. And if you don't believe me, I can post a video of this if that's really what you want to see. And if I do, and I say proper technique or fun way to fold women's underwear panties, I tell you it's going to always get more views than this video that's about reconnecting us to reality ever will. And that's sad, but this is really who you are. Now, if I can make a tie or, fold women's panties in a really cool way, which my ex has taught me, it's the only thing I got from my ex, really. Oh, except this expression that I really like. Hey, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. I kind of use it for your species. But, it didn't have to be your time to go. It's just that, you're not showing up to reality, people. You're still kind of believing your own BS about who you are. So it's pretty sad. So, hey, we're almost 19 minutes. I'm going to try and open another window here and see if an email came in. I assume the camera light seems still on. I'll have to wear glasses for this if I'm looking at this screen, especially the colors and everything. And it seems to still be recording live, and nothing from anybody. There is a YouTube, and it says now live, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to just this window. Yeah, I don't see any reality-related people primates on here that may or may not qualify as the elusive Homo sapien. So what else can I do? Well, I'm not going to show you how to fold these panties right now, but I do own panties that I traded with a nice lady that I was going to have be my girlfriend if religious people had kept their promise and weren't trying, through greed to manipulate things instead of just allowing me to help their culture over there. If they would have brought me back like they promised, and pretty powerful people in their communities, and still, I think they became convinced when a Mississauga travel agency screwed me and didn't book my plane ticket. And the high priest had to, when I'm at the airport, get money to come into his account really quickly, and knew that I was a trustworthy person, although he also knew I wasn't religious, a Christian. Paid for a plane ticket that was a little bit more expensive so I can, make the rest of my trip. And I did pay him back. All this is documented. And of course, I criticized this Mississauga agency that screwed me over and that made it that I didn't have enough even credit at the time. I don't know if I still had credit at that time or not. I don't use credit anymore to actually, so greed is just it's just a nasty, nasty thing. But that's what you guys are pursuing, and that's why you're not here right now. You're pursuing these kind of other disconnections from reality. So it's pretty sad. So I was supposed to get back this lady. I traded some of my clean underwear with her clean underwear as a souvenir, and we'll see each other soon. So I kind of lost a girlfriend through greed, and I lost the opportunity to volunteer in a place that would have covered my expenses. That really, really required a learning specialist, as I define it. So not a job that exists in Canada, but they would have allowed. So I would have been able to work as a culture repair at various levels of not just school ages, but also with the educators. And of course, role modeling things that eventually would have spread out. And I said, well, the condition of me coming back is also that I want to keep giving counseling skills lessons to people that have a desire or that already work in counseling, helping people with trauma in the north of Uganda in Gulu, because I could read the signs of that culture that there is going to be a return to civil war. So there would have been less likely a return to civil war if more people had not wanted to pursue the magical and the supernatural paradigms, disconnections from reality, and therefore not managing their own lives, their own cultures, their own future history in a responsible way. But instead, that's where things went. It's not that much about COVID not sending me back there a couple of years ago. It's more about, oh, things are hard. If this guy, is not rich to help us with money, we'll have to wait until we bring him back and he teaches us human thinking tools. And it's pretty much why you guys are not showing up now. You've given priorities to things that are inhuman. And there's no exceptions around the world. When I arrived in Japan, a place I was very excited to be, very strange that they left with one of my backpacks saying, oh, our machine is not reading it properly. And they were gone a while. So they might have placed something in there to track me. Now that's their paranoia. Like I often have a copy of my recent criminal record check, but they don't want to see that. They want to engage in their own paranoia. So another thing that happened is when I had this laptop fixed, near the end, the guy leaves. I said, what? Why is he? And I decided to not go see what he's doing, but he was gone a freaking long time outside, out of my view, with the laptop. So again, might have done some spying business there. And again, I didn't notice that they plagiarized me and stole some of my intellectual property, but, they probably think this is not a typical Canadian. And why is he cleaning toilets if he's that educated? And you shouldn't ask me, you should ask yourselves, why do you prefer stealing stuff that you can't do yourself and allow me to clean toilets so I can, with my low budget, be able to have a free guest house for months? So again, people, I'm not kidding. This is really who I am, what I want to offer, and this is really who you are. So anyways, we got about 6 minutes left to my promise. I'm going to go, nothing coming in right now. Again, no emails related to questions. I was hoping to get somebody who want to connect with reality today, but I don't know if there's sports on TV or if, you guys want to follow other things that you really believe. If I only understood how that was more important to you, then I wouldn't be, so weird compared to you. But the thing is you think I'm weird. I think you're weird. You don't realize that still stubbornly refusing to start talking and engaging more with the reality of your human condition, your situation, you're collapsing ecosystems, you're destabilizing paradise biosphere instead of, it's paradise here, but you want to go to church and dream of a paradise in whatever way. This person's imagining it this way, this person's imagining it this way. And if they shared their stories, you'd say, oh crap, I'm not letting you, babysit my kids if you're imagining paradise this way, or I'm not letting you I'm not letting you borrow money or whatever if you're imagining paradise this way, because it shows a lot of, how they are disconnected with reality based on their own neuroses. So yeah, we got 5 minutes to go, folks. I'm gonna stay here and wait a bit more. I'm gonna show you this book again. I got it from the Vancouver Island Regional Library, and it is like this guy that wrote this. I'm gonna contact him at some point if I haven't already, I think, but I think I'll try again, because this guy actually must be able to deal with reality if he wrote this. And he wrote this in a way where there is some judgments about your species as well. Now, writing this, he probably knew, that this was to just die with a clear conscience, really writing this, but that it wouldn't make a difference, right? It's a little bit what I'm doing, as whether there's paradise or not after death, it doesn't make a difference, because if you don't act like now counts and the earth is paradise, and you either contribute to make it better for others or worse for others, is really, that's what the judgment would be, if there is one after. The judgment is not, oh, you did great trashing the earth, so you did better than others, so you're going to have prime real estate in heaven. But I think that's what you guys believe, maybe with a series of questions asked by somebody like me. We would go there, and you think I have mental. I'm going to give you 1 full minute of silence. So I did the tie. I thought somebody might enjoy challenging me with knowing how to make a tie, because you'll see on TV now, if you get something out of this, the people you like to pay attention to on TV, like politicians and millionaires, check their ties. Check how ridiculous they look. So if you can't even master things like this, it's pretty pathetic. But again, you guys will defend yourselves by saying, no, the new fashion is it must be crooked, it must look weird, and that's original, and that's the new fashion, and there's something wrong with Martin who can make them look more symmetrical. And the other thing that I might have talked about, because I criticized in a video that my master's degree faculty teachers would not be able to describe or explain how a stove fan or eco fan works. And by the way, I'm giving you a clue of something else. Remember I said cosmology? One grand unification theory that I would have worked on is how time speeds up or slows down related to dark matter and gravity, but there's also electromagnetism that you gotta put in the calculations there. And so speaking of electromagnetism, as I looked up that fan, and I could have explained it, and I also decided that when I get around to a store that has a lot of metal bits and parts and things, because I'll have to buy at least one part brand new, is I'm gonna make one of my own. It would be really cool. And when you understand this, it's kind of cool to know how they work, and you can make more instead of ordering them quickly. Making it is cheaper, but it's also better for your brains. And finally, the concept of that fan led me to an idea to quickly know how to discharge heat from the atmosphere in a quick way that your species could succeed. Oh crap, we're out of time. Okay, so thank you very much for